so it ends up being almost half the time over the full game. So you'll be seeing them both getting into it right away now. First thing you notice is their movement. They're going to be doing bunny hopping. That's jumping as soon as you hit the ground, and then continuing to do that. Basically, the reason you jump like that is because it preserves your speed from all the previous jumps that you've done. Then while you're in the air, you can do something called air strafing, which is just moving your mouth sideways while you're holding A or D, and that builds up forward speed. So you can get a lot more speed than you would walking by just doing that and jumping and hopping to maintain your speed. The first few maps are pretty simple. There's not too much going on. A lot of this game just comes down to clean movement and whoever can execute that better. Babyfurz starting off with a couple-second lead. I think Babyfurz is a pretty heavy favorite for this. I will just double-check their PBs, but I'm pretty sure that Babyfurz is a bit higher of a PB. They're onto Portal Gun now. They're just going to be grabbing up the Portal Gun and moving through. This section of the map that Babyfurz is on right now leads up to some of the hardest movement in the run. This room here, this little tiny hallway, is awful. You'll see Babyfurz didn't even bother trying to hop through it. He just walked through it because it's just so unbelievably annoying. There's so many little things you bump your head on. There's so many things that you can bump on.
This next test is very dangerous.
Smooth Jazz, Babyfurz is going to be shooting a portal just into that pit there. And a cube will be going straight into the button, so he doesn't have to bother putting it on. And then he's going to be pushing a cube through that door. That looks a bit strange. And basically what happens there is the door, or the game has a way that you can soft lock that chamber intended. So it makes sure that if a cube ever gets on that side of the room, that it'll just open the door. So we have used that, and we do a glitch where we can push a cube through a wall or through doors and windows by tapping it on the edge of a portal and then tapping it through the door. So Babyfurz just does that, and basically did the same to save a bit of time. Just there you saw a portal stand, and then them dropping a cube through a portal and grabbing it again. You'll see a portal stand again right here. Basically, all a portal stand is standing on one side of a portal and then shooting your other portal to be able to get to a place that you're not supposed to. It can be a little bit difficult because you have to just hold S at a relatively precise timing to make sure that you're going back through the portal. Because if you don't, the game will just push you out. And do remember that when you try and do that, the game does try and push you out, because there is a trick that we're going to be doing, both players will be doing later, which involves the speed that they get from that push. Secret panel. Once again, this is one of the maps that's normally a pretty long cutscene, but it's completely skipped by Speedrun Mod. There is a way to skip it in a normal game, but Speedrun Mod doesn't. You don't even need to do this to skip in Speedrun Mod because the cutscene's just not there. And there's a few things like that in Speedrun Mod, where there's a cutscene skip in the normal game that you just don't go for because it would lose time to, because the cutscene's just not there. Wake Up's another one of these cutscene maps. You'll see Babyfurz just hopping through here now. A lot of like movement focus maps at the end of chapter 1, where they are right now. Yes, Babyfurz is a 36-minute run, and Baister has a 41 or 42-minute run, I think. So Babyfurz is the heavy favorite for this one, but we'll see how it ends up playing out. Moving his way through Incinerator here. At the beginning of the map on Incinerator, you'll see Baister going through it now. There's normally a scripted fall that you can't do anything during, but in Speedrun Mod you have control during that little fall there. So that allows you to do what Baister's doing right now, where you strafe and move yourself forward, and then you're able to do some cool movement to be able to skip through a little bit of the map normally. Fortunately, Baister's having some issue getting it. I think he's pressing D too early, or A too early is his issue right now, which is unfortunate. He's going too far to the left side. Babyfurz coming onto laser stairs. This map can be a bit painful. Where the cube drops is like RNG, I think. So it's just like annoying as hell, because the cube will just never want to go through your portal quickly.
There.
Coming on to dual lasers, Babyfurz is going to be doing a laser switch glitch there. You'll see that there are 2 laser receptacles on that map that need to be activated for the door to open. What you can do is you can activate one of the receptacles, hold against the door, and then switch your laser onto the other receptacle. And the game, for a brief period of time, will have both receptacles activated. And normally that wouldn't be enough time for the door to open, but whenever you're holding against the door, and the door is set to open for any period of time, the door will open fully. So by getting it to trigger for only a little bit, Babyfurz holds against the door and is able to get through.
I just finished building them before you had your, well, episode. Well done. Here come the test results. You are a horrible person.
You see at the start of the map,
Don't let
Babyfurz
that
at least, I don't know if Base is doing them as well,
It's
is trying to hop on the stairs there.
makes you feel any better.
That can mess you up a bit. Tries to stop his momentum with the cube there, Babyfurz, to get himself to get through the map slightly fast. It isn't quite able to reach up to the cube in time.
Decision to abandon you on a doorstep. Congratulations. Not on the test. Most people emerge from suspension terribly undernourished. One moment. You're navigating these test chambers faster than I can build.
So here, Babyfurz is trying to do a small time save where you can just straight around the side of this. Yeah. To get to that button a little bit faster. You can just like go down and portal normally. It loses like maybe half a second if that. But Babyfurz messes up a few times, end up losing probably, I don't know, 10 seconds, something like that. You'll notice that their timers are getting out of sync the more that they play. Babyfurz is winning. The reason for that is this. Oh, actually, we'll talk about this. So I mentioned reportals, or I mentioned that you get a bit of speed when you shoot a portal and you're at the edge of a portal earlier. That's called when you abuse that to get more speed than you're supposed to have. That's called a reportal. And Babyfurz just did 3 of those, gets the end of Pit Flames a lot faster than the intended route. Yeah, but the reason the time is getting out of sync is because this game's timed in in-game time. So that's just time without loads. So depending on who has faster loads, their timer might be, or who loads more, they might end up being further ahead or further behind in terms of where the timer is. So just, you have to account for that sometimes when you're looking at who's ahead. Right now it's not a huge factor though. Babyfurz is ahead by quite some margin. Coming into Ceiling Catapult now. Okay, he didn't get it. He went for a trick there, but he didn't get it, so I'm not going to bother explaining it.
Did you know that people with guilty consciences are more easily startled by loud noise?
Oh yeah, Baster, I believe, goes for the Super Portal on Pit Flames. So there's certain ways that you can shoot your portals and certain positions that you can get in where you'll get stuck inside something while you've got a portal near you. From doing that, you can reportal multiple times and get yourself all the speed from those reportals. That's called a super reportal. And Baster does that there to get to the top of Pit Flames. Messes it up a little bit, but still saves a fair bit of time. Or it doesn't save that much time over the normal triple reportal, but it's very cool. Ricochet, the Babyfurz is on, is one of the harder maps in the run. He doesn't go for panel fling, instead choosing to just rely on blocking himself with the cube. There's a Faith Plate that was behind him where he did that. So what happened there was he hit the Faith Plate, drops his cube, so he'll smash into the cube. And then the game stops him completely, but gives the cube all of his velocity. So he has to be careful because there's only a small window there where he can grab the cube back and make sure that the cube doesn't go flying off. Babyfurz with his green bridges going on. There are some visual mods that we allow for this game, or pretty much most visual mods. You can just change the textures of something pretty easily in this game. So some players like to do that to make the game more appealing to them, or just for memes or whatever.
Look at you, sailing through the air majestically, like an eagle, piloting a blimp. enjoy this.
Coming in to bridge the gap. Here's another
Going to
skip that isn't required because of Speedrun Mod. Normally that door is quite tight to get through, but in Speedrun Mod it's very, very easy because it just doesn't close.
Maybe I'll let you ride an elevator all the way up to the
Ooh, Babyfurz going for a bit of a
I'll tell you about
jump
the
here.
time I
Haven't
saw
seen many
you.
players go for this ever. Interesting. Pretty cool strat.
And I'll tell you about the time I saw a deer again. And I'll tell you about the time I saw a deer again.
Turret injury here where Babyfurz is on is quite different from most of the maps in this game. It plays almost like a Portal 1 map just because of how much of it is based around shooting your portals quickly and getting through the map, through your portals very quickly.
And I'll tell
As opposed to
you
Portal
about
2,
the
which ends
time
up being a
I
lot
saw
more
a
about like
deer.
movement and just be hopping well. He's trying to not kill any of the turrets and put the cube
You passed the test.
on it very quickly, and the cube's just bouncing off.
Deer today.
Sometimes cubes just behave really weirdly. The physics in this game can be very weird. Like they're kind of just flipped into that turret for a second. Just kind of does things.
These bridges are made from
Just
natural
do.
light that I pump in from the surface. If you rubbed your cheek on one, it would be like standing outside with the
Laser
sun.
relays. Here's gonna be another instance of laser switch
You can also
glitch.
set your hair on
Wait, is this
fire,
laser relay?
so don't
I think so.
actually do it.
Yeah, so he's going to be shooting the portal on one receptacle and then switching it to another and getting through the door by holding up against it.
Excellent. You're a predator, and these tests are your prey. Speaking of which, I was... Good news. I figured out what
Babyfurz here is going to be trying to use the turret behind him to boost him, so he's going to be standing still and getting the damage. Like in a lot of games, sometimes when you take damage from turrets in this game, you'll get forward momentum. So, or momentum, whatever direction it's shooting you. So by just abusing that momentum, you can get across that gap very quickly. Oh, Base is also going for that jump. Is this? No, okay, it's not. No. I was about to say, I swear I've never seen that jump before.
You did so well. I'm going to note this on your file in the commendation section.
Babyfurz on Laserverse turret, just lasering down some turrets.
You remember them, right? They're the pale spherical things that are full of bullets. Oh wait, that's you in 5 seconds. Good luck.
Once again, all of these maps are just pretty basic, just move through, solve the puzzle intended quickly.
Cycle. I simulate daylight at all hours and add adrenal vapor to your oxygen supply, so you may be confused about the passage of time. The point is, yesterday was your
Ooh,
birthday.
a little bit of a bonk from
That's all they
Babyfurz.
want to know.
Column blocker coming up. There are like a few different ways you can get through this map.
That's not me talking. It's right here in your
Just in
phone.
terms of like where you do your portaling
Looks fine.
and what ways you maneuver around the cubes.
Scientist has
Well,
noted
Babyfurz is doing the reportal. Yeah, interesting.
Well,
This can be slightly difficult because it depends on the positioning and where you hop and landing a report and landing good B hops to get across that gap, but he manages it a second try, so it's not too bad.
I have a surprise waiting for you after this next test. Telling you would spoil the surprise. So I'll just give you a hint. It involves meeting 2 people you haven't seen in a long time.
No. Babyfurz tries to put the cube down. The cubes in this can be a little bit finicky. Sometimes I swear that they just move by themselves. It's not even like your control that moves them. They just move, man. But ooh, just able to get the cube in the right spot. That looks like that laser might have been too close to the relay, but not touching it for him to actually learn the strat. But it worked out fine for him.
It was designed by one of Aperture's Nobel Prize winners. It doesn't say what the prize was for. Well, I know it wasn't.
There is a third receptacle on that map, but you just don't have to activate it because you can just fling through the end. Here's another instance of laser switch glitch. This time on 3 laser receptacles.
I bet you think
He's just moving his mouth back and forth very quickly to trigger them all.
In fact, we're headed to your
while holding up against the door.
I made it all up. Surprise.
Ooh. So Babyfurz was trying to just do a portal stand where he stands inside a portal.
So I very seriously doubt
To save a tiny little bit of time on jailbreak here, but he just messed it up the first time, and he didn't make a save for quite a while, so it ended up being a decent amount of time loss. Get through the map second try though, so it's not too bad. I think Base has actually caught up a fair bit in the since like the early part of this run. He's still a fair bit behind, but he's not as far behind as I thought he would be. Oh, Babyfurz is having a big issue getting over this railing. You can't just go around this railing completely, but he's just committed himself to going over it. Never mind, he's going around now. But with 3 mess-up attempts, that's like 10 seconds at least lost. These little mistakes could end up giving Baister way back into this race, honestly. Like, unironically. Babyfurz has a sufficiently bad run. Baister has a good chance. He is a fair bit behind, though. He is like 3 maths or something behind.
Our dilemma, and I came up with a solution that I honestly think works out. Federal regulations require me to warn you that this next test chamber is looking pretty good. That's right. The facility is completely operational again.
Okay. Yeah, this section of the game is just the Babyfurz zone. There's just a lot about movement through these tight corridors, these little railing sections. It can be pretty tight. It can be a little bit difficult to get through.
What's going on?
It's a very different movement from the open test chambers that come before it, though.
Run! Come on, I'm closing the doors. Okay, quick recap. We are escaping. All right, that's what's happening now. We're escaping. So you're doing great. Just keep running. Quick word about the future plans that I've got in store. We're gonna shut down her turret production line. All right, turn off her neurotoxin, and then
The irony.
again though, for the moment, run.
Hopping through Turret Factory.
This way, this way.
Babyfurz just pretty clean. I don't know, he's making a couple of little movement mistakes, bonking a little bit every now and again.
Come on.
But nothing too awful.
Ah! What's going on in there? I heard guns.
Coming into Turret Sabotage, he's going to do another reportal here to get himself a bit of speed, to get across that conveyor belt a little bit faster. Yeah, there is a huge gap in PB here, but if Babyfurz messes up a lot and Baister manages to get a good run, it is very possible for him to win. But it needs to be like, I don't know, it needs to be a big amount of mistakes from Babyfurz and a very good run from Baister. And right now it looks like Baister's decently red, and Babyfurz is on a very bad run though, so who knows.
Ah, brilliant. You made it through.
If Babyfurz continues to have a run as bad as it has been through the early portions, he has potential to land it. Babyfurz landing up for what's called a pancake shot. There's a tiny little gap at the top of the door here, and if you line up your portals very precisely, stand in a very specific position, you can manage to get it. Get a shot through that little gap, is what I was trying to say.
All of them functionally indistinguishable from the originals. No memory of the incident. Nobody knows what they're talking about. Absolutely terrible. Here's an interesting story. You might like this. I almost got a job down here in manufacturing, but guess who the foreman went with? Only an exact.
Babyfurz decides to wait for Wheatley. You can go in front of Wheatley on that section, but if you mess up your movement and you bonk a little bit, or yeah, Wheatley can catch up to you, and then Wheatley will just move inside you, and it'll slow you down like 10 seconds. Although he avoids that, but is going a little bit slower at the start. Making his way through Neurotoxin Sabotage now. This map's a little bit different on Speedrun from the normal game, in that normally there's only a few cycles you can get in the normal game because there's only like one moving through each at the time. But in Speedrun mode, you see there's a bunch of white panels there. You just move your portals around very, very quickly to all of the pipes as quickly as you can. Babyfurz making it through. There is a map in between the core map that Babyfurz is on and Neurotech and Sabotage in the normal game, but it's literally only cutscene. There's no control you have in that map, so it's just skipped in Speedrun mode. And this map is also mostly cutscene, but there's a little bit of movement, so it's decided to be kept in Speedrun mode. And Babyfurz makes it through. Coming into Underground, similar to on Incinerator that I mentioned earlier, there's this big fall section at the beginning of this map where you're supposed to, where in the normal game you're not able to move. Because you can just hop out of that, you can get a lot of speed off an angled surface in this mod. And just save a bit of time getting up speed.
Bring your daughter to work day. That did not end well.
Babyfurz is about to do a very long shot across this map. You won't be able to see the surface that he shoots on, but there's just a surface on the other side of this map here, where you can just do a lineup and shoot the portal down onto it.
I'm pretty sure we're going the right way, just to reassure you. Alright, now, she can't use a turret. Don't worry, I'm absolutely guaranteeing you 100% that it's this way. Okay, let's try this one.
Ooh, doing a re-portal getaway. I haven't seen that one actually. Makes a lot of sense though to re-portal across to get into that door a little bit faster. Coming into Cave Johnson, this is one of the hardest maps in the run. There's just a lot of things that can go wrong depending on what strat you do. We'll see what Babyfurz goes for though. So here he's going to be doing another long shot here. There's like a tiny little gap. He's going to be doing the jumping one. I think it's bad to go for the jumping strat here, honestly. It just like it saves like no time, and it's very inconsistent for most people. He's able to land at second try, only loses a few seconds. Lines up, he's going for a big reportal here. This reportal is very difficult though, because you have to rely on moving through the portal as opposed to like naturally falling through it, which is where most reportals come from. And just for some reason, with the way you move through this portal, it just makes it hard. He's really not able to get this reportal right now. This reportal saves about 30 seconds. So it's like pretty worth going for, even though he messed it up a bunch. Like it probably still ends up being about even. I don't know, probably lost a bit of time. Baister is only a little bit behind now though. He's like probably like a minute and a bit behind. If Babyfurz continues to mess up a lot, he can he could do something. It's actually possible. Babyfurz didn't get the button glitch there. I mentioned back at the beginning of this run that there are certain buttons in this game that you can just glitch by walking onto them for one tick and then leaving them. That's one of them, but he's not able to get it. Or I think I mentioned that. I better have mentioned that. Babyfurz just trying to get through here. By going through those portals in a specific way, you can make it so you get enough height to get on top of this section here. Whereas normally if you just bounced off the gel through the portals, you have to kind of do like a weird hop sequence. Or weird hop, yeah, through the portal. Baister lining up on Cave Johnson. Not able to land the jumping shot. It's worth though, guys, I promise. Ellie giggle. Just do the standing setup. I swear, man. You lose like 10 seconds there. And I see it happen so often. And the setup takes like 2 seconds to do. Baister, they're able to land the reportal very, very quickly and make it through the end of Cave Johnson. While Babyfurz is finishing off bomb flings with a nice fling.
Alright, let's get started. This first test involves something the lab boys call repulsion gel. You're not part of the control group, by the way. You get the gel. Last poor son of a
Under Crazy Box with Babyfurz. He is... Oh, is he going for the stock launch? No? What? What? Okay. He just decided he wanted to strafe that way to get to the long shot platform. Onto the top of that little speaker. That's not how. Yeah, that's not how you set up for the stock launch. I just couldn't think of why it would strafe like that. whatever. Yeah, so then Babyfurz just crouches while he goes underneath that box there, that big glass box, and he crouches at a very specific timing. In this game, when you crouch, there's a brief period of time where your head extends 2 units above where it's supposed to be. You can abuse that by getting your head inside the box there, and that just causes the glass to break, because if there's something inside the box, it's like, oh, let's smash this open.
Oh, in case you got covered in that
I didn't look.
here's some advice the lab boys gave me.
If Beta did cube flip, I didn't check.
Covered in the repulsion gel. We haven't
I think he does, but I didn't watch it. So I was busy trying to explain what was going on Babyfurz's screen.
by the way, keeps out the rats. Let us know if you feel a shortness of
Yeah, we'll see you next run.
by the way, keeps out the rats. Let us know if you feel a shortness of breath, a persistent dry cough, or your heart stopping, because that's not part of the test. That's asbestos. Good news is the lab boys say the symptoms of asbestos. I like your style. You make up your own rules, just like me.
Oh, Babyfurz is trying to land a portal up to the top here. The issue with this is that sometimes you can get a reportal out of here, and you'll just have too much speed and you'll just fling into the group. He needs a portal up there so that way he can just go back through and then fling across this gap. But yeah, it can cause some issues.
Now, if you're part of control group Kepler 7, we implanted a tiny microchip about the size of a postcard into your skull. Most likely you've forgotten it's even there. But if it starts vibrating and beeping during this next test, let us know.
Babyfurz is lining up for a strat here. Basically, when you touch that gel, because there's an angled surface right in front of it, or right on it where the gel is, it kind of works funny. So if you jump a bunch while you're going onto that gel, you gain up a bunch of speed because you're just jumping, and then the game moves you forward because you've got velocity, so you're going forward. So you'll touch the ground again, you can jump again, get a lot more speed, and go forward. And you can just fling yourself across the entire map with a lot of speed, as opposed to being forced to actually solve the entire puzzle. I'm going to conversion intro for Babyfurz. This is one of the maps that tends to be a choke point for a lot of runners. This is one of the maps that you can have a lot of things go wrong, especially in the second section coming up. We'll see how he handles it though. Right here, he's going to be getting these conversion gel, lining it up, and then trying to go for a reportal. This reportal tends to be something that it can just cause players trouble. If he messes it up once, we'll see if he can get it a second try though. Oh, he gets the reportal second time, but he bonks on his head on the platform that he's trying to climb up to. Messes up the reportal that time, but goes for it again and gets it. Ends up losing a fair bit, but not too much time. Oh, has to slow down completely. There's that little bit with 2 doors makes it so you can like almost never preserve your hop sequence through that entire section. Babyfurz though, making his way up to the top now. And moving on to 3 gels. This is another one of the maps that can cause a lot of players issues. Yeah, so here's going to be going for a stuck launch. He's going to be setting up some gel underneath the pipe. And then he's going to be getting himself stuck in between the pipe and this platform that he's standing on. So basically, the game thinks that he's falling, even though he's barely moving at all. Because it just gives him velocity based on the amount of time that he's been falling, even though he's like stuck in place. It just keeps on giving him speed. So, he just keeps on building up speed and then bounces back up off the blue gel. And is able to skip his way through pretty much the entire map. Or the entire main puzzle section of the map. And then he's been going, I believe, for tube bounce. Yeah, okay, he is. Yep. So he just lines himself up and then bounces off this tube. There's a blue gel tube that he's bouncing on here. For some reason, the blue gel tube is just bouncy like the blue gel. He just bounces his way up. That's just the way it works sometimes.
There's still a few things left to wrap up, though. The bean counters told me we literally could not afford to buy $7 worth of moon rocks, much less 70 million. Bought them anyway. Round them up.
Basically, I'm going to conversion intro. We'll see if he has any issues here. No, loads back into the turnip portal in the second fling through. Interesting decision.
What? Ground up moon rocks are pure poison. I am deathly ill.
Gets the second try though. Ends up being pretty okay for him.
Gives you lemons. Don't make lemonade. Make life take the lemons back. Get mad. I don't want your damn lemons. What am I supposed to do with these? Demand to see life's manager. Make life through the day and thought it could give Cave Johnson lemons. Do you know who
Babyfurz coming into test, just placing a cube in the button and going straight through the door. In the normal game, there's a colour team that would play here from the way he did it there, but obviously from Speedrun mod that's skipped. So we can just get away with just putting it down completely normally.
I know things look bleak, but that crazy man down there was right. Let's not take these lemons. We are going to march right back upstairs and make him put me back in my body. And he'll probably kill us because he's incredibly powerful and I have no plan. Well, I'm not going to lie to you.
Baister on 3 gels, we'll see how he goes on it.
Still though, let's get mad. If we're going
Gets himself stuck very quickly. It's not the greatest gel pattern, but it works fine. And he's able to get himself to the top very, very quickly. Babyfurz on funnel enter, and he's going to be doing a glitch called crouch fly glitch right here. So when you crouch inside a funnel, and then leave the funnel when you're at 0 velocity, or when you crouch at 0 velocity inside a funnel and then leave the funnel, the game will basically think you're still inside the funnel even when you're out of it. So because of that, you basically don't have gravity affecting you, so you can just kind of fly around. So what that means is the only ways he can move up and down are by jumping, walking on walking up like stairs or whatever, or like moving himself from angled surfaces, or pushing himself down with props. So he's gonna be doing that with cube just here. He's already just jumped earlier. That's and then I can just fly around above the map here. And push himself down with the cube to be able to get through the exit.
Boiling hot. Okay, colder, ice cold. You're Arctic now. You're very cold. Very, very, very cold. Look, just get on the button. Oh.
solve this puzzle for him. When he comes back, I'll hit him with a paradox.
The only way that you can use crouch fly glitch after you've left the map that you got it on is by crouching. When you're on the map that you got it on, there's a few different ways you can get rid of it though. You can just change your crouch state is the primary one that would be used. But he can crouch and uncrouch as much as he wants because he's up onto the next map. Or up onto, one of the maps after he got it. But yeah, you can just preserve crouch fly through as many maps as you want. Although he's going to be choosing to get rid of it on the next map because it's a lot faster to go through a few maps without crouch fly than it is to go through them with it.
Nothing. Alright, can't blame you for trying. Okay, new tests. Gotta be some tests around here somewhere.
So he touches the funnel and then he's back to completely normal, able to bunny hop like normal. No floating around, nothing. Babyfurz entering out the funnel intro just now. Is he about to get himself crouch flyed?
Not entirely.
Babyfurz trying to go for great shot here. Basically, there's a white surface around the edge of those grates that he's trying to shoot on. And that actually acts as portable surface. So if you angle your portal in a specific way, you can shoot a portal that the game only checks for the white surfaces. And as such, it allows you to place a portal on it.
I'd love to help you solve the tests, but I can't. Sorry. You're on your own.
Oh, yes. Well done.
Thanks. All we had to do was pull that lever. I thought of some good news. He's going to run out of test chambers eventually. I never stopped.
I'm coming. Don't start yet. You are not going to believe this. I found a sealed off wing. Hundreds of perfectly good test chambers just sitting there, filled with skeletons. Shook them out as good as new.
Babyfurz is going to be getting crouch fly glitch again on catapulting sure because he really wants it for laser platform.
It's happening sooner than I expected. It's probably nothing. Keep testing while I look for a way out.
All right. So that last test test was
He's having some issues now.
apparently being civil.
He bonked his head way before he wanted to, so he's unable to get it up to the end of the platform, or it's the ending platform of the map.
Solve a simple test.
He ends up having to load back to an earlier save. Oh, never mind, he's already saved that. Okay, he's good. Just has to cross over here again. Oh, it has to get crouched again completely.
Oh, what was that? That was nothing. That was nothing.
The body he's squatting in, my body, has a built-in euphoric response to... If he's not getting his solution euphoria, we could be in a lot...
Don't mind me. Just moving the old test chamber a little bit closer to me.
Babyfurz on laser platform, just making his way through. He needed the crouch fly so he's able to just fly off and grab this cube. Grabbing this cube is a lot faster than moving the platform over to it, so it's just so worth getting crouch fly in the previous map to get that. He then lines up a portal so he can just angle his cube up through it to laser into that that little I don't know, that little thing. The receptacle. I couldn't work out what it was called for the life of me. And we'll see what he does coming up. There's a few different strats here for Babyfurz, so we'll see what one he goes for. Yeah, okay, he's going for the... Okay, it's deciding to do a setup over here. Normally people shoot the portal from up where he is now, but he's deciding to do it from back there. Works the same, just loses a bit more time. He flings himself across, not able to make it the first try, he's going to go again. This strat can be a little bit difficult if you don't get enough speed, or if you angle through the portal wrong, if you shoot the portal too high or too low. There are a few different things that can go wrong. And he's eventually able to get it just. Yeah, so Based is about a minute behind, a bit over, yeah. It's not great for him. Although if there are some more chokes from Babyfurz, he might actually have a chance still. It's not like unwinnable still. Babyfurz just needs a choke for him to have a chance.
Ignore what he's saying, though. Just keep on testing. Alright, still nothing. Let's keep moving. Sorry about the lift. It's out of service because it melted. Might as well, give you the tour. To your left, you'll see some lights of some kind.
Based goes for a different strat to Babyfurz. Babyfurz just wanted to drop through and take the normal route. Baster instead chose to hop over using the funnel speed to get over to a place where he's not supposed to be and just hop through to the end of the level. Babyfurz is making his way through the accelerated cutscene at the beginning of Finale 1. And making his way through. Hopping over the railing to skip a little bit of movement that there normally would be, and messes up and falls through the portal in a way that doesn't allow him to get back down, so he has to go for it once more, but makes it the second try. Oh, misses another portal there.
I'll bet you're both dying to know what your big surprise
Ace is at the beginning of Finale 1, while Babyfurz is at the beginning of Finale 2 just now.
Surprise! We're doing it now.
Babyfurz about to be going for crouch fly once more. There are ways you can go through this without crouch fly, but it tends to take a fair bit of time to get it.
No, don't do that. Hello? No, seriously, do come back. Please, come back, please. Okay, look, I've decided I'm not going to kill you. Okay.
It goes through and goes down.
Just thinking back to the old times, the old days when we were friends, good old friends. Not enemies, can't help but notice.
Based makes it through his fling on Finale 1. First try, he nearly hops over from the edge there, but he makes it just fine, Oh wait, Base is actually a lot further behind. I didn't look at the timer. Yeah, in game time, Base is actually a lot further behind. Yeah, never mind. It's gonna take a lot of mess ups for the Base to win this one from Babyfurz. It's gonna take a lot of mistakes from him.
Well, no matter, because I'm still holding all the cards. And guess what? They're all full.
But Babyfurz is making a fair bit of mistake here. He's not able to get through these turrets. He's going for the riskier strat where you walk straight in front of the turrets as opposed to, I would imagine, what base is going to go for, which is a bit of a safer route. I think. Oh, no, Baster. Yeah, I didn't notice he died. I wasn't looking. He just let himself fly too far out, but he's finally makes it through second try. Babyfurz still having issues letting the turrets fully reset here. It loses a fair bit of time to do that, but it's a lot faster than messing it up how many times he did. He makes it through there just now, but he's still got nearly a full minute on Baster. It's really not looking good. Over a full minute even. Oh, and he misses the line on Baster. That's not great. Yeah, I don't know what big mistakes Babyfurz could make that would let Baster clutch us up anymore. Yeah, I can't think of anything he could do really that badly. He's making his way through Finale 3 and onto the final map, Finale 4.
Crushing's too good for him. First, he'll spend a year in the incinerator. Year 2, cryogenic refrigeration wing. Then, 10 years in the chamber I built where all the robots scream at you. Then, I'll kill him.
He is messing up though. But yeah, like I said, he's still got a full minute in game time. Just, yeah. Base is on PV base. Oh, hopefully he can PV then. That'd be very cool. Oh no! Oh, Base is just flinging himself into the pit, into the abyss there. Well, Babyfurz gets the first core off Wheatley on the Wheatley boss fight. Babyfurz just enters Finale 4, and onto the Wheatley fight he goes.
You find a way to stun him, I'll send you a core, and then you attach it to him. If we do it a few times, he might become plug me in. Look, even if you
Babyfurz gets the second core off,
with a common interest, revenge.
and grabs it the first time he can.
Everybody likes revenge.
Lugs in pretty quickly as well. Babyfurz gets third core off, while Base is on his first.
Warning. Core corruption at 50%.
What happened?
Lining up for early moonshot on Babyfurz's screen. There's a brief period of time where you can shoot the moon before the cutscene plays, and he's able to land it first try. 39-13 for Babyfurz. Baster on the second core now, just trying to grab it up and hop through. He should PB on this, I think, if I remember his PB correctly.
Core corruption at 75%.
Let me just double check. And gets the third core off. Yes, looks like it's gonna PB, as long as he doesn't mess up horribly and goes for like reloading early moonshot a bunch or something.
Warning. Core corruption at 100%.
You have been a thorn in my side.
I mean, if you just shoot the portal on this white gel, the rain won't actually wash off that.
Make resolution button.
Thanks for letting us know, Babyfurz. That's really helpful. Base doesn't land early moonshot, but it only loses a few seconds in the speedrun mode, so he lands it there and ends up with a 40-55. That is a PB by quite a bit, I think, for Basta. That's very good for him. 40 seconds PB. Not bad. Alright. Could have them getting into the second run very, very quickly off that. Oh, wait. Oh, cool. Yep. Oh, my dog just opened my door and spooked me, man. Whew. He's a good boy. Wowie.
again, welcome to the Aperture Science Enrichment Center. The portal will open, and emergency testing will begin in 3.
Alright,
2.
let's see how this run goes. This was like actually surprisingly close. So if Basic can get a little bit better run and Babyfurz can mess up as much as he did, he could go for it again, but
Don't worry. The odds of this
I don't know. Babyfurz is probably warmed up a bit now, so it might be a lot harder than the first race.
If you feel liquid running down your neck,
A bit more of a stomp, maybe. We'll see though.
and apply immediate pressure to your temples. You are simply experiencing a rare reaction in which the material emancipation grill may have emancipated the ear tubes inside your head.
Yeah, moving through Babyfurz's movement just seems a lot cleaner than it was this little last run. He's already got a few seconds on baister.
Difficulties we are currently experiencing. Your test environment is unsupervised. If the Earth is currently governed by a manner of
Making his way onto portal gun now.
cloud or other governing body that either refuses to or is incapable of listening to reason.
Not too much different from the first run, really. Just like some, I don't know. We'll just see where people make mistakes, I guess.
That all lethal military androids have been taught to read and provided with one.
Smooth jazz. Looks like it's going smoothly for Babyfurz.
This next test is very dangerous.
Oh,
To help
can't
you
quite
make
get the cube to go through the door.
almost certain death. Smooth jazz.
He's like flicking up so quickly that the cube doesn't actually touch the portal, so he can't actually get it through the door. He's just moving his mouth too quickly.
You have trapped yourself.
You see how Basie gets it first try because he just lets the cube tap it properly. Going on to cube momentum, portal stand, and then just has to let the portal fall through and then grab it. The timing on that can be a little bit precise, so the map can be a little bit annoying, but it tends to be pretty okay. Both players get it. Okay. Base are a little bit faster than Babyfurz, but okay. Once again, basically just a repeat of the way that we the way that cube momentum's done there at the beginning of can't remember this map's called for the life of me. Before you get to the button glitch. Yeah, like I said before, basically there are some buttons. This game there's only like 3, I think. But there are some buttons in this game that if you walk onto them for 1 tick and then leave them, the button will just stay pressed down. So that's what's happening there when they just walk on that button and then they go to the exit. That's the reason they do that.
Ensure that sufficient power remains for core testing protocols. All safety devices have been disabled. The Enrichment Center respects your right to have questions or concerns about this policy.
Babyfurz having some troubles with the movement at the end of a secret panel here. Just bonked on like everything it felt like. Baister09 makes it through relatively cleanly. Just a few seconds behind. It's actually not too bad so far. Babyfurz he's just been making a lot of mistakes. He's just been making a lot of mistakes over and over, just from trying to do things like really, really quickly. It's just not capable of doing. Like it feels like he just keeps on going for portal shots very, very quickly after each other, and causes himself issues from doing that. Otis tries to like do mouse movements more quickly than they need to be. But maybe he'll be able to do that to gain some speed. Who knows?
Here we are, the incinerator room. Be careful not to trip over. There it is. Good. You have a dual portal device. There should be a way there. Once testing starts, I'm required by protocol to keep interaction with you to a minimum. Luckily, we haven't started testing yet. This will be our only
Just
chance.
flings his way through laser enter on Babyfurz's side. Baister just entering. He's about a full map behind. In-game time's pretty lined up though, so he is about,
Not bad.
I want to say for the way he does it, 17 seconds behind.
You should pace yourself.
Laser stairs works pretty okay for Babyfurz. The map can be a bit of a pain just because of the way that cube is. It just never wants to do what you want to do.
This next test involves discouragement redirection cubes. I just finished building them before you had your, well, episode.
Yeah, as you can see, Baister has a few issues because the cube just never wants to go through in the way that you want it. There it goes through and it flings off to the side.
Well
Because it
done.
just doesn't want to do what you want to do. It just never does it. The map is actually painful.
You're a horrible person. Don't let that horrible person thing discourage you.
I didn't see what strat Babyfurz went for. Okay, he just goes for basically vanilla strat on
Science has now validated your birth mother's decision. Congratulations.
Okay, no, he does a bit of a hop sequence at least.
Most people emerge from
On laser overgoo. Could not remember what the map was called for the life of me again.
You're navigating these test chambers faster than I can build them, so feel free to slow down.
Ooh, bit of a bonk from Babyfurz,
Whatever it
unfortunate.
is you do when you're not destroying this facility.
Yeah, you see Babyfurz is like really set on going for this where he grabs the cube early.
I guess you are.
And he ends up losing himself a lot of time. It didn't even save time for him there because he didn't bonk himself.
Waddle over to the elevator and we'll continue.
So he just like attempts something 4 times and ends up losing a fair bit of time to that, but doesn't save any time from it anyway.
This next test involves the Aperture Science Aerial Faithplate. It was part
Yeah,
of an initiative.
doesn't quite able to get himself on the faithplate.
While test subjects could
We'll see if he has as many issues here on Trust Fling as he did last time. No, he's able to get it first try this time.
Good luck. Here's an interesting fact. You're not
Ooh, ooh.
It's too expensive to put this far down. Let's see
Oh yeah,
what the next test
there on
is.
Trust Flings,
Advanced.
you're supposed to press the buttons twice normally, but
Have fun soaring through the air with
there's a couple of balls that drop down that can push down the button.
The wing that was made entirely of glass.
When he GLaDOS throws the rubbish at you,
Broken glass.
so you can just put one of them down with a portal above it and keep pressing the button twice. Babyfurz messes up his reportals a couple times, but he's able to get the
test chambers.
go for the backup. Where you can just go for one reportal as opposed to the triple reportal. That's the initial strat that he goes for. That portal, for some reason, when you do a reportal on the backup, it just decides that it just wants to launch you high sometimes. I think it's because you're not funneled directly downwards, as it feels like it works better when I look downwards a long time, but I could be wrong. That's just what I feel like it works. But yeah, if it just wants to, it can just mess with you the entire time. And now he's just messing up the reportal. He's able to get it, and he's able to make it through this time. Meanwhile, Baister having some trouble lining up his super reportal. There we go, gets it that time. Nope, didn't get the full thing there. He has to go for the backup, like Babyfurz did. But he's hoping he can get it a little bit faster, obviously. The portal wasn't at the top there, so that caused him some issues. Ooh, he's having a lot of trouble as well now. There we go. He's able to get it eventually, though, and make his way through. Ceiling catapult for Babyfurz. Not able to land it again. Ooh, that's not great. Yeah, okay, it's choosing to go back and fling back up the faith plate. That loses a fair bit of time. He just didn't go through the portal when he wanted to. You could stay up there and do 2 reportals, but he's deciding that it's not worth the risk to go for that. And so he's just going to go through and go back. No, not quite able to get up to the top once. He goes for it again and is able to get up to it that time. Baister actually basically caught up now. He's pretty much even. Maybe a few seconds. Okay, yeah, he's a few seconds behind, but he's like very close. Just from the mistakes that Babyfurz has been making, which have been pretty significant. Under Ricochet, we'll see how Babyfurz does here. He landed it second try, I think, or was it first? I don't remember. On the last turn he had. So we'll see how he does it this time. Ooh, lands panel flame? No, he messes up panel flame.
Like an eagle, piloting a blimp.
Goes for it again. Straight on. Doesn't go for panel flame this time, and does the backup strat perfectly fine.
Next test, I'm going to go to the surface.
Yeah, so base is about 15 seconds behind Babyfurz, I think. If he lands this quickly, that is.
Maybe I'll let you ride an elevator all
Ooh, that's not good. Come on, Baister.
Maybe
You
I'll
got this,
let you
bro.
ride an elevator all the way up to the break room. And I'll tell you about the time I saw a deer again.
I'm friends with both of these people, and I really want Baister to win because I play a lot of Dota with Babyfurz, and goddamn, man, he's annoying when we play Dota. I just want Baister to win it, bro. I just want him to win it, just for me. Do it for me, Baister. Able to land the backup strat for Ricochet perfectly fine and get himself through to the end.
I didn't see the deer today. I did see some.
On to bridge the gap. Babyfurz making his way through. I got excited for door skip, even though there's no door skip in Speedrun above, man. Oh, I'm not used to this. I'm like a boomer in this game, I swear to God. Oh, I'm looking forward to old skips.
It would be like standing outside with the sun shining on your face. It would also set your hair on fire, so don't actually do it.
Making his way through turret intro.
And these tests
Choosing some interesting portal placements. Works out fine. And he's able to get the cube to actually go on the button that time. It doesn't bounce off every time. So we get through turret intro a lot faster than he did last time.
When you die, I'm going to laminate your skeleton and pose you in the lobby. That way future generations can learn from you how not to have your unfortunate bone structure. Well done.
Baister makes his way through. Pretty well.
In the commendation section.
Babyfurz in the turret block. We'll see how the turret treats him here. Sometimes the turret at the end, they can just decide that they don't want to be knocked over. They behave nicely for Babyfurz today. But sometimes they actually just don't want to be knocked over and they just won't let you. Tried to go for a reportal at the end there to get himself down to the ground a little bit faster. Wasn't able to land it, unfortunately. It's interesting to see what like weird optimizations a Babyfurz goes for that I never see people go for normally. And then just see him mess up positioning of the laser and laser burst turret. Classic.
To maintain a constant testing cycle, I simulate daylight at all hours and add adrenal vapor to your oxygen supply. So you may be confused about the passage of time. The point is, yesterday was your birthday. I thought you'd want to know.
Babyfurz on to pull the rug here.
That jumpsuit you're wearing looks stupid.
Just
That's not me.
making it through perfectly
It's right
fine.
here in your file. On other people it looks fine. But right here a scientist has noted that on you...
We'll see if Baister has any issues with these turrets at the end. Yeah, looks like they go fine with him as well.
Probably. Oh, wait. It's a she. Still,
Ooh.
what does she know?
Lands the portal shot eventually.
Most of test subjects in
Columns locker.
storage.
And see if anything goes wrong here for Babyfurz. This can be one of the maps that things can just go wrong, especially with this reportal here that he goes for.
Telling you
Sometimes
it's
things just go wrong.
So I'll just give
He's able to land it first try, so it's pretty okay for him.
people you haven't seen in a long time.
Baister having some trouble lasering all the turrets there. He's able to get through eventually. Ooh, okay, that was close to being bad for Babyfurz. He tried to position his laser onto the relay, onto the like little node there, as opposed to behind it, which is the easiest strat, or the faster, or the strat that's easier when you're going to put down that cube as quickly as you can. Works out fine though. He nearly moved it too far to the left and it would have been an issue for him, but he just makes it work.
I didn't. In fact, we're headed to your side right now.
Making it through perfectly fine. And then on to triple laser here. We'll see how this
I made it all up.
goes for him.
Surprise.
I think this is a reflex thing there. In full game, you really want to crouch when you do that.
Abandoned you at birth. So
What do you call
I
it?
very seriously doubt that even
In normal
once
full game, when you do the laser switch glitch, I could not remember that. You want to crouch because you don't want to go the entire way through the door initially. So Babyfurz crouch there and lost a tiny little bit of time. But it ends up, it doesn't matter. It's like, 0.25 seconds that you lost. But it is interesting to see those little bits of muscle memory hold over.
Well, you know the old formula. Comedy equals tragedy plus time. And you have been asleep for a while. So I guess it's actually pretty funny when you do the math. I thought about our dilemma, and I came up with a solution that I honestly think works out best.
Babyfurz hopping his way through escape. Like I said, a lot of these matches is very movement focused, just
Regulations require me to warn you that this next test chamber is
moving through your little hallways, your little corridors,
That's
your
right.
little
The facility is completely operational.
railings, whatever. You'll see that he's not doing airstrafes like you do for the majority of the time while you'll be hopping through test chambers. What he's doing is holding against a wall, doing what's called a speed wall strafe. Basically, when you hold against a wall and aim your camera in like a certain variance of angles, you can gain a fair bit of speed, a lot more than you would from just airstrafing normally. You can only do it against a wall, and yeah. So that's why you don't see him do it a lot in test chambers, because it's a lot faster to just B-hop and not go against a wall. But here, because you're always moving next to walls anyway, it ends up being the optimal way to move.
This way, this way. Come on, come on. Ah! What's going on in there? You okay? I heard this way, this way. Hurry!
Misses the reportal on the beginning of chart sabotage with Babyfurz. Only a tiny little bit of time loss. But yeah. He's about a minute 30, I would say, ahead of Baister. Yeah, probably about that. Which is not that bad of an outcome for Baister so far. If he can manage to have a clean run through chapter 6 and 7 and 8, and Babyfurz is a messy run, he could actually end up getting ahead.
At least you can't touch us back here.
Because there's a lot of points where you can just like start to choke in those maps in 6, 7, 8.
Ooh, it's dark down here, isn't it? They say that the old
Babyfurz lining up a pancake shot. We'll see how quickly he can get it.
crazy. Chopped up his entire staff of robots. All of them robots.
Yeah, oh, misses the portal once.
Still hear the screams.
It's a very precise shot. There's like,
All of them
it's like
functionally indistinguishable from
ridiculously precise.
no memory of the incident. Nobody knows what that's
Nearly everybody uses a bind to lower their sensitivity to line it off.
Lowe's got a job down here in manufacturing, but guess who the foreman went
Because it's just too precise to use your normal sensitivity that you move around on for.
with? Ended up giving me the worst possible job, tending to all the smelly humans. Sorry, that's no, it's smelly. Oh, I'll tell you, humans. Oh, love them. Just the way they look.
Once again, Babyfurz is saying to let Wheatley go ahead of him to prevent Wheatley from getting stuck in him.
Right. Well, I'm gonna take this round. See you.
Yeah. Yeah, about a minute 20. Ahead of Baister. Maybe even less than that, because his time is further ahead. So yeah, it's not too bad for Baister, really. As long as he can not mess up too much, he should be good. On to Neurotoxin Sabotage. Babyfurz looking to see what he can do. Just flicking portals all over the place, trying to get them to land. And gets it relatively quickly. Baister taking his
Follow me. me, you're gonna love this.
taking the turret instead of going for the pancake shot that that Babyfurz went for. So he's just doing the intended strat basically.
That should do it.
It's a lot faster to do the intended strat in Speedrun mode than it is in normal game, because in normal game there's RNG on the voice lines that the turrets will say when they're being flown, and whether they're a broken turret or a functional turret. So you can get bad RNG on what voice line they say and bad RNG on what turrets they are, so you can end up having to wait for like 3 or 4 white turrets in a row, which ends up losing like 30 seconds or some insane amount. Maybe not that much, 20 seconds though.
And 40 potato batteries. Embarrassing.
Babyfurz making his way through underground.
Barely science, really, is it? I'm pretty sure we're going the right way. Just to reassure you. Don't worry.
Having some issues getting this long shot, but he gets it eventually.
It's this way. No, it's not. Okay, let's try this way.
And he's moving on to Cave Johnson. Once again, Cave Johnson's one of those choke maps that a lot of players have issues on, so we'll see how this goes.
It's a neurotoxin generator. Bit bigger than I expected. Not going to be able to just, push it over. Have to,
Quite a few of the maps coming up are. I would say Cave Johnson and Repulsion Intro both can be. So we'll see if Repulsion Intro is the map after Cave Johnson, by the way. So we'll see if there's any issues on either of them. Lands the cliff shot first try. And the Reef Portal coming up.
Hold on, the neurotoxin level. Hold on, something's wrong. Neurotoxin levels. That did it.
Messing it up 3 times so far. Going for it again. I don't know what this setup he's doing here. It looks like he's just like shooting the portal randomly. Normally, if your portal positioning isn't correct, it can have a lot of issues. Looks like he does a better lineup that time though. My dog opened my door again. This is a good boy. Wowie. Makes it through eventually though.
Don't do it. Not so fast.
Babyfurz onto Repulsion Intro. He looks like he's pretty lenient with what he goes for. He doesn't go for anything insane. He just kind of lets himself roll with what he gets. He goes for button glitch once. Doesn't get it, so then he just goes for the cube and goes through normally. Baister coming into underground now. About a minute 30 behind, maybe a minute 50. Depends on how the next maps go for him, I guess. Babyfurz having some issues getting up to the top section of the map. Goes for it again, not landing it one more time. Just doesn't seem to be getting it here. Oh, he's gonna line up for where he shoots the portal as well. I've never seen anybody do that. He's just not getting this. This is losing him a lot of time now. Giving Baister a big chance to catch up. There is a safer strat he can go for here. But he's just committed to doing this. And he lands it eventually. But he lost like a good 40 seconds or something on that. He doesn't have a good gel RNG there, so he can't go for the backup. He has to actually go back to the beginning of the map. Sometimes the gel can let you just bounce off the side there without having to go and bounce from the beginning on that blue gel pad. You just kind of bounce off the walls by jumping into it. But with the RNG he had, it just didn't work out. Baister on Cave Johnson, going for the cliff shot. Can he get it? 5, 4 mess ups. I don't know why people like this cliff shot, why they like the jump shot so much, dude. It's like, I don't get it. Just do the standing lineup. It takes literally less than 5 seconds. Oh my god, man. Babyfurz makes his way through bomb flanks. We'll see how basic goes in the reportal. First try. Absolute god gamer. And I call him a god gamer, he instantly bonks. Estimate. What are you doing?
All right, let's get started.
The dog looks like he's making trouble.
Repulsion gel. You're not part of the control group, by the way. You get the gel. Last poor son of a gun got blue paint. All joking aside.
Babyfurz on Crazy Box. Sometimes this crouch can cause some players some issues, but he's able to get it very easily. I think if you know what you're doing, the crouch isn't too hard, but a lot of players don't really know the correct timing for it. They just kind of wing it. Baister, I believe, goes for Cube Cliff. I'm actually going to watch it this time. I didn't see it last time. So we'll see if he does go for Cube Cliff. Yeah, okay, he does. Drops the cube again and brings us over. So he's going to do is he's going to try and drop a cube, and when there are two, he's going to drop a cube inside a portal. And when there are two objects inside a portal, the player and the cube, the game can kind of mess up what's going on. It doesn't actually, like, it messes with its collision. It doesn't know what's happening. So it kind of can just push him down and through the floor. He's having some issues with it, though. He's able to get it, like, third try or fourth try or something like that. And we'll see if he's able to get up to the top. He gets up first try. Babyfurz making his way to the end of Potatoes now. Being... What's that? He's on Repulsion intro. What is that? Repulsion intro, Bomb Flings, Crazy Box, then Potatoes, I think. Who's like 3 maps behind Babyfurz. On to Propulsion intro for Babyfurz. We'll see how he goes. Once again, if he just messes this up enough and he gets enough reportals on it, could pose some issues, but he doesn't. He gets the first try. And fling straight through to the end.
All these science spheres are made of asbestos, by the way. Keeps out the rats. Let us know if you feel a shortness of breath, a persistent dry cough, or your heart stopping, because that's not part of the test. That's asbestos. Good news is the lab boys say the symptoms of asbestos. I like your style.
Ah, man.
Bean counter said I couldn't fire a man just for being in a wheelchair. Did it anyway. Ramps are expensive.
Ooh, misses a portal shot on Baister on Bomb Flings. Not able to get the gel to go through it. He gets a second try. Babyfurz onto Conversion Intro. Had a lot of issues here last round. We'll see if it repeats this time.
Now, if you're part of control group Kepler-7, we implanted a tiny microchip about the size of a postcard into your skull. Most likely you've forgotten it's even there. But if it starts vibrating and beeping during this next test...
Based on the long shot on Crazy Box fine. And Babyfurz just entering onto the second section of Conversion Intro. This can cause a lot of issues as we saw last round. We'll see how it goes this time though. Messes it up once. He's decided to go for the backup. No, what's he doing? What? Why wouldn't you just look back? Okay, I guess this is interesting. He saves in the air there. Messes up his reporter once. Messes up a second time. And yeah, it looks like Babyfurz having issues again. Lands the reportal eventually, but he's lost a fair bit of time there. Baister now only... it's still about 2 moves behind, actually, still a fair bit behind. He's had some issues of his own.
Say goodbye, Carolyn.
Goodbye, Carolyn.
But he's just finishing up Potatoes on Base's end. Yeah, this is looking like it's going to be another close one, though. Which is not what you'd expect when you look at these two PBs, but... It's the way it goes sometimes in these races when one player's rusty and the other player's pretty well practiced.
The testing area is just up ahead. The quicker you get through, the quicker you'll get your $60. Carolyn, are the compensation vouchers ready?
Yes, sir, Mr. Johnson.
Baister eventually able to land the team shot on Propulsion Intro. Takes him a little bit, though. Babyfurz lining up on 3 gels. Looks like he's able to get the stock launch pretty quickly as long as he doesn't mess anything up here. Yeah, moves himself through. Oh, missed the shot on to the white surface there, though. I don't know when he last saved. Okay, while he was flinging up, he's fine. Gets a second try and goes through.
Interested in an additional $60? Flag down a test associate and let them know. You could walk out of here with 120 weighing down your bindle if you let us take you apart, put some science stuff in you.
And on tube bounce for Babyfurz. Looks like it's gonna be fine for him. Ooh, yeah, okay, he's good. What is SLA? SLA is save load abuse. So in this tournament, save load abuse is banned. So that means you're allowed to save load as much as you want. You're allowed to save and make load back to quick saves. But you can't do any strats that are reliant on saves and loads. And there are a fair few of them.
Humanity is grateful. If you had any belongings, please pick them up now. We don't want old newspapers and sticks cluttering up the building.
I believe this tournament is also inbounds. Most players don't know any out-of-bound strats, but there are a few that can save a fair bit of time.
Sticks cluttering up the building. For many of you, I realize $60 is an unprecedented unprecedented windfall, so welcome to the enrichment center. I don't know who these people are.
Oh man. Babyfurz making his way through test. While Basta still on conversion interest, so he's like 2 minutes behind, maybe 2.5, 3 minutes, maybe, I don't know. A good chunk though. He's lost a lot of time in this chapter 6, 7 so far. Compared to Babyfurz, that is.
Guess what? Ground up moon rocks are pure. Mix them into a gel. And guess what? Ground up moon rocks are pure poison. I am deathly ill. Still, it turns out they're a great portal conductor.
And he's able to make the reportal first try though, so or second try.
Don't make lemonade.
Babyfurz getting crouch fly glitch relatively quickly. And reloading? I don't know why he reloaded there. That looked fine to me. Unless he like uncrouched or crouched accidentally and lost crouch fly. Oh, interesting. I don't know if that's fast. It might be. Babyfurz just letting the cube fall on his head, making his way through. What is it called? Ceiling button. Oh man. My memory is being stretched today. I just cannot remember the name of the maps for no reason. Basta having some issues on 3 gels. I don't know why people like this setup on the edge of this tube so much. This, like, where you line up on this, like, middle bit here, and then fold in. There are so many other setups that are really easy to do that have such... You have such less issue getting into the position you need to for those setups. I don't know why it's... So many players like that setup so much. Oh no! Oh god, every time! That spooks me when players do that, man. Every time! Yeah, basically deciding to just take the elevator up as opposed to tube bouncing. Looks like Babyfurz has this one secured unless something horrific happens to his run. His run's just a lot less awful. Babyfurz lands great shot pretty quickly. They're heading his way through.
With legs! It's literally your only purpose. Walking onto buttons. How can you not do the one warmer? Warmer. Boiling hot.
Stop the box. This map like can lose you some time, but normally it's not a huge amount. I just kind of messed it up a couple times, but he's able to get the cube first try. So it looks like it's gonna be pretty okay for him, for Babyfurz. Yeah, and he gets it fine. Tries to go for a reportal across, messes it up, but he's still able to land the jump across. How far is Basta behind? Probably still about 3 minutes. Maybe more now. 3 or so minutes, I'd say, though, yeah. Probably edging more. Maybe close to 4, I don't know. Babyfurz able to get crouch fly on laser catapult fine. Yeah, this run's not looking as close. Babyfurz just made less huge mistakes during chapter 6 and 7, so Base is just in a much worse position. Even though his run is on a pretty similar pace, I think. I think it's a bit slower than his last run, but definitely not like horrifically slow compared to it. He just had... This time Base started up having a pretty bad chapter 6, 7. Well, but his standards, I think the last one was pretty clean. So I put him in a much worse position this run than the last one as well. Because I think into chapter 6, 7 Base was a decent amount ahead of where he was last time.
Yeah, made this test myself out of smaller tests.
Babyfurz this time deciding to take the route going over the map as opposed to taking the I cannot think of the words right now. My brain is actually malfunctioning. But yeah, I think he chose that route, is what happened there. It's my insight for today, boys.
I thought of some good news. He's going to run out of test chambers eventually. I never stockpiled.
I'm coming! Don't start yet! You are not going to believe this. I found a sealed off wing. Hundreds of perfectly good test chambers. Just
Slings across first try as well. Yeah, looks like Baister's not going to have it this time. Babyfurz is just playing a lot better now. He just needed that first round to warm up, and now he's in a lot better position. Baister having some issues with the cube throw here. Able to get it eventually.
Oh no, it's happening sooner than I expected. It's probably nothing. Keep testing while I look for a way out.
Alright, so that last test was
Babyfurz makes his way through.
apparently being
And onto the finale, while Base is still a while off that. Yeah, he's definitely like 4 minutes behind.
I might have pushed that more. Oh, now he's playing classical music.
Base landing great shot relatively quickly, third shot.
pages being turned. So that's just what I was doing.
Making his way to the end, also relatively quickly.
Books. So
Yeah, I think he was on PB pace up to like chapter 6, 7. His run looked okay up until his I can't remember what map he messed up really badly.
don't mind me, just moving the
Or my distance full mess up the entire way through. I don't actually remember. Babyfurz is typing in some kind of command. I don't know what he's doing. Cheating? No. I didn't see what issue he had, but he was just typing in something to fix it.
sure you're solving these correctly. I mean, yes, you solved it, but I'm wondering if
I think he just had like accidentally loaded onto the wrong save or something and then had to load back. Ooh! Babyfurz jumps slightly early into that portal and the portal just kills his speed.
have a brainwave. I'm going to tape you solving these.
Oh, yeah, okay, so he, there's a little bit of a bump on that floor before the portal. It doesn't let you shoot it right to the ground. So he just hit that bump before he went through the portal and lost all his speed.
Just give me a wave.
Almost did the second time before
I
recovering.
don't want to spoil the ending for when I watch it later.
On to finale 2. Babyfurz just making his way through. Gonna get crouch fly again. He's like committing to going for that re-portal for some reason. You can shoot that portal a little bit higher and still save all the time you would from shooting the re-portal, but not having any risk to miss it. I don't know why he doesn't just do that.
I then keep his job. I'm not a monster. Ignore what he's saying. Just
8 to 10 seconds in the red. Interesting. Oh, not quite able to land the cube up first time on base, so. He's definitely got potential to PB still. If I remember correctly, he had some mistakes in finale 3 or 2. Babyfurz has to go all the way back to get himself back up because he accidentally knocked himself down to the ground. And he's just going through and doing the No? What is he doing? What? What? Okay, he must have just lost his control there and going too far forward.
to your left, you'll see some lights of some kind. Don't know what
I don't know.
but very exciting.
Anyway, he's on to finale 3 now.
Are you alright back there?
While Baster's just finishing up laser platform, I think he's a lot further behind now.
You're alive! Great! Yeah, just getting a test ready for you, obviously. Who else would I be doing it for? No one?
Able to land the fling pretty quickly though. Well, Babyfurz heading on to finale 4 and the Wheatley boss fight right about now. Just finishing up. Looks like he's gonna end up with time
More chambers to your big surprise.
just over 38 minutes, or just over, wait, what? Yeah, 38 minutes. I'm just remembering how to count, okay? Just give me a second there.
So, he's inexplicably happy all of a sudden, even though he should be going out of his mind with test withdrawal.
Just remembering how to count. Alright, let's watch Base's timer to see when it goes red. We'll see how far behind he is.
Well, only 2 more chambers.
Let's see if it's PBable.
Surprise! We're doing it now.
Okay, Babyfurz just... that's actually a cool thing. He got himself stuck inside the portal. Just to flex, I don't know. That's just a cool meme. It looks like he's like 30 seconds behind.
This is the part where I kill you. When you go, come back. No.
Maybe a bit more, maybe 40 even.
Please. Okay.
But yeah, pretty large chunk now. I don't think that's PBable.
If you can. Oh.
You'd need to play exceedingly well for him to PB
The
it.
old days when we were friends, good old friends. Not enemies.
I don't even know if he could.
Back to the old times, the old days when we were friends.
If he
good old
played like
friends.
perfect for him.
Back to the old times, the old days when we were friends, good old friends. Not enemies.
Babyfurz just wrapping up the run,
Back to the old times, the old
getting the
days
last
when we
turret
were
in,
friends, good
and
old
going in
friends.
for early moonshot.
And I would say something I can't help but notice that you're not coming back. Which is this. Oh, I've got an idea.
Yeah.
Ha! Death trap! Did something break back there?
Babyfurz finishing up at 38.09.
Ha! Was that your bullet?
Ends up winning the second race.
Oh, those were the crap turrets, weren't they? Yeah.
That's a 2-0 for Babyfurz.
Because I'm still holding all the cards. And guess what? They're all full houses. Never actually played cards, meaning to learn. Anyway, new turret, not defective.
Baister making his way through Finale 2 now.
Unbeaten.
Hello.
I would imagine.
Oh, hello Babyfurz. How you doing?
Good. It's 10 at the morning. I'm not slept well, but it's okay.
Not too bad.
I mean, in Baster's time zone, it's midnight, I think.
Yeah, you guys, I don't know why you chose this time to play.
He said okay, so I picked this time.
Why would you pick a time that makes you get up when you're still tired?
No, I mean, he was okay with this time because I'm okay with get up early. I didn't know back then that I had a bad night, but play at 12 p.m. It's not a.m. Fuck it. It's not that what I would choose to play it a race at midnight.
Get that pink off the screen. No, stop it. Get the pink. Get it all off, babe. I swear to God.
It's off.
It's not
off
off.
now.
Oh wait, never mind. I'm way
Stream
behind.
delay.
Yeah, I forgot I'm like way behind.
It's like 30 seconds stream delay.
Baister.
And
Coming on to Finale 4.
ooh, is he on PB pace right now?
No, he's way off PB pace. So,
That's sad.
yeah, he was on PB pace up until like the end of the run, but he messed up a lot in late chapter 8.
Yeah, I didn't practice at all for this race.
Yeah, I
Only
could
yesterday one. No, I wasn't on PB pace.
No, I know, I could tell.
Oh, but I didn't practice at all.
Oh, good.
Had no time.
Don't lie, you just wanted to play Dota more.
I didn't play Dota even.
Sure. I've seen you playing Dota at least earlier this week.
Warning. Core corruption at
I think my last game was Saturday. I really didn't play Dota.
Sure, bro, sure.
I need a
Okay,
break from Dota. I'm so tilted from it.
Yeah, I can tell you every game I play with you. It just
5 days ago.
warning. Core corruption at
5 days. Okay. Maybe put Baister wrapping it up. Looks like it's gonna be close to PB. I don't. What was his last one? That was a PB. What was it?
Before the invention of scrambled eggs in 19...
40, 55. Yeah. So it ends up being about 30 seconds.
You have been a thorn in my side long enough.
Stalemate Resolution Associate. Please press the Stalemate Resolution.
Baister lining up for early moonshot and
Booby trap the
misses
What's
it again.
poppin'?
Hey,
Oh.
Baster.
Oh, you're still watching my race?
Yeah, you finished
Oh.
it. You good.
I did. I did it.
You done it.
It was
Ruining the illusion that we were actually finishing
Live
at the same
time.
as us. Yeah, ruining the illusion of live racing. Yeah.
no.
Was
I
that
joined. I joined mid gaming.
Oh yeah, you joined after you missed the moonshot.
I missed early moonshot. Like, well, it's okay. I have a few
Yeah,
seconds to
just
chill. It's the one
Tap
cutscene in
out,
the run.
join in. Yeah.
It's the one cutscene.
Yeah, when's the child moving that? What the hell?
GG's Babyfurz.
GG. Yeah, my month was pretty bad.
See, my first run had a garbage early game and a pretty good late game. My second run had an okay early game and a garbage late game.
Yeah, I was watching. Like, it looked like you actually could have beaten him if your late game didn't go so awful.
Oh yeah, best balls the time going out of chapter 6 was a 38, a low 38.
Ooh.
And I golded multiple splits in the end game. I go to funnel catch, I go to laser catapult, I go to finale 4. Which actually the finale 4 gold is garbage. Didn't even get early moonshot, but it do be like that.
The only which is 5 seconds in this mod.
My
Yeah,
split
it's
was
7.
my split was always red after underground. In both ones.
I realized going into the first race that I did not practice propulsion intro because I've been losing time on that split. Like my last run, my last PP had a 2:30 propulsion intro. I think it was pretty great, but I had a pretty good one in my first run. Not so great in the second one, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I need to practice pit flings more though.
But you're out of the tournament now, right?
I am, yeah, but I still
Yeah,
want to
that-
get runs.
Alright, well, GG.
GG's.
Yeah, GG. Was fun.
Was fun. Good luck in the future races.
So, are there any
Thanks.
SpeedGaming channels live right now? I don't think so, right?
Probably not because it's 1:34 a.m. my time.
In 1 hour, the next one
next-
is on Gaming 1.
The next Portal 2 race on Speed Gaming 1. The next Portal 2 race at 2 p.m. Eastern time with Can't Even versus Burger 40, which is going to be a very tight race, as we all know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Burger 40 is the favorite.
Burger 40 is the fan favorite, although Can't Even is seeded to win, but we'll see how that goes.
That's
You never know
That's
with
cheating.
Burger 40. Okay, but I'm going to go to sleep because it's 1:35 a.m.
Alright.
Thank you for
Well,
commentating, Wobo.
That's it, boys.
yeah.
Alright,
Thanks.
Forgot the Ronas.
Yeah, check me out.
That's gonna be it. Don't check base round up mine. Never mind.
No, check base out, not me.
Check out
Oh.
Wobo. He's Australian.
Don't.
That's
Yes.
the only thing about it. That's all. Yes, that's relevant.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Alright, boys. Well, that was good. Right. Yeah, check out more SpeedGaming races later. That's all we've got for today. Thank you.
GG's.
Yeah. GG.